everyone and welcome back to another video. This is Ashay Jain and today we're going to be starting a new series based on the same chapter, but basically this is going to be the alternate future of the world, season 1, episode 1. So basically we're just going to be going through all the years and I'm going to be creating like war scenarios but in the future like that. So basically that's going to be it. They're going to be one season and hopefully two seasons, and this is season 1, episode 1. This idea is by many YouTubers, but I'm taking inspiration from ADIZZPRO. Okay, so let's start. Since right now there is a war going on, Israel and Palestine, we are going to be looking at that. Here, the aggressor, okay, 1 minute. Here, I'm gonna say that the aggressor of the war has to be Israelis, who are the worst. And for that, I'm going to be making Israel red, and the Palestinians, they are of course going to be blue because they are just trying to protect their land. And so basically, yeah, we're just going to be looking at the war scenario of Palestine versus, yeah. So as we know, last year around October, the Israelis started attacking the Palestinians by declaring war on them just because the Hamas didn't, like, they did something. So we like is going to be happening at this point just like this, where the war is going on but there's nothing going to be actually happening because that's not a big problem right now. Now the one of the most current wars right now is Russia versus the Ukraine. Here the aggressors are Russia, and I'm going to give Crimea to Russia because they annexed it. And as we know by the war right now, like that's been happening since 2022, I'm pretty sure. It's been between Russia and Ukraine. So basically, the war started off with Russia declaring war on Ukraine, and the Russian troops, like, this has already happened. So I'm not going to be explaining it that detailed because, well, it's pretty much everybody knows what happened. So, like, the Russian troops have started pushing in, and right now, this is like much of the progress that they actually have made. They start pushing in from Crimea and make like a landing in southern Ukraine. And because of this, Belarus decides that they are going to join the war on the favor of Russia because I would say, it's one of the biggest allies of Russia. So since the Belarus joined the war, Ukraine was really unprepared, and the Belarusians start pushing in. But since most of the Ukraine soldiers were here, they are ready. Like those soldiers are ready, and they themselves start to make a small counteroffensive and pushing the Belarusians back a little. Whereas the Russians here, since the Ukrainians are distracted here, but they have some borders like army troops over here. So the Russians do an operation to cut off the very eastern part of Ukraine. And if the Russians start pushing in from the north, from the south, and it's going pretty well. The Russians are almost about to finish it when the Ukrainians just leave the same area to go defend, which leaves Belarus and the remaining Russian troops here free to just cut off most of, well, yeah, East Ukraine, West Ukraine, sorry. And there is no army around this area. There's like army. There is an army, but it's really like weak army. So Belarus has absolutely no problem in taking over this area, which happens pretty good for them. And the Ukrainian troops, they were distracted. So instead, they just push a little. But what they do is they move into the like this Caucasus region of Russia, I guess you could say that. And they are doing that pretty good. They start to push back the Russians a little bit, and the Belarusians in northern Ukraine. They go pretty well until the Russians decide to start pushing like most of their troops in to stop the Ukrainians. So the Russians just start pushing in. They take back the most of the taken land, and they successfully, like, not successfully, I would say, but they push back the Ukrainians and surrender like most of the Ukrainian troops which were here and in this region. There, most of the Ukrainian troops. So this eventually leads to that side falling, and the Belarusian troops pushed in from the south along with the Russian, and this leads to them surrendering because they are lost. They lost most of their troops. So basically, that's it. Now I'm going to be just drawing like what is going to be the peace treaty. So basically, for the peace treaty, it's going to be pretty simple, I would say. Belarus would get like very little land, I would say. What? Why is it not going? Oh man. So Belarus would get a little land, and Russia will get a lot of land, of course, because it's Russia. And Russia gets a lot of land. Wait, what is this? Okay, okay. So yeah, Belarus gets little land, and Russia gets a lot of. So the land is going to be like a lot means they're just going to basically split most of this. Belarus is just nope, that's that. Belarus is going to get like a little bit more land, whereas Russia is getting all of this. So Belarus was like something like, well, actually no, this is Belarus was something, yeah, they're gonna get this much land. This is accurate. And so basically that's it from the Russian-Ukrainian war. And as you all might know, there's like a small area here called Transnistria. So basically, Moldova, and there has a small USSR-based country, I would say. It's called Transnistria, and because of that, the Transnistrians, I would say, they declared war, not war. I mean, they declared peace, like not peace, like they wanted independence. Yep, that's the best thing to say. And the Transnistria is pretty small. It's like just this big, just this big, and the rest of Moldova is small, but compared to Transnistria, which is not even an official country, it's much bigger. So for since Transnistria is pro-Russian, I would say it's not a pro-USSR like that. So they decide to team up, and because of this, since Moldova is like a huge ally, I would say of Moldova, They decide that they join in on the blue team, followed by, yeah, that's it basically. This area, I don't know what is this area. I'm not that sure. Which country is this? Can you guys let me know in the comments? So we have Serbia being a huge ally of Russia and not liking Romania so much, declaring they have them declaring war on Moldova and them declaring war on Romania. So that's it. And now we start with the war. So basically, the Moldovans they start pushing a little bit into Transnistria, but the Russian troops have recently, and the Belarusian troops even have recently fought in a war. So they just push in from northern Moldova. We have the Serbians pushing in from northern Romania and from eastern Romania, but we have the Romans, not the Romans, Romanians. The Romanians, they start pushing a little bit into the Ukrainian part of Russia and into the Serbia, the southern part of Serbia. But that is pretty much stopped as Moldova just ends up falling to Transnistria. And we have the Belarusian troops now pushing back and into northern Romania. We have the Russians making a landing here, and here because they have Crimea, and having Crimea is basically the hugest asset. So now what they're trying to do is just surround Bulgaria, Romania, and Serbians have taken back the stolen land, and they meet up with the Belarusians in the north, and they continue to go south and disconnect it from Bulgaria, Romania from the Bulgarians. And since this has happened, the Romanians are basically starving. And since they're starving, they do things that makes them not starve. They push a little back, they get their replenishments, and they immediately start importing so much food before the Russians can ever stop this. But eventually, the Russians stop this and they start pushing into Romania. The Romanians are being beaten up, and the Russians do one of their most smartest moves. They just go straight up for absolutely no reason. The Romanians think that they're trying to just connect the peninsula, so they move all their troops from like this to like this, and because of that, it leads to the Belarus troops just beating up Romania, and that leads to Romania surrendering. So basically, if we look at the peace treaty, it's wait, 1 minute, not the desert. So I'm gonna just show you guys the peace treaty in front of all of you. Wait, what was it? Yeah, just make it. Now I'm going to make this. Okay, and the peace treaty is going to be pretty strange. So, nope, sorry for that. We have Transnistria getting Serbia. I mean, not Serbia. Transnistria getting Moldova, and like very quickly they just decide to join Russia. We have the Romanians being split apart by the Russians and the Serbians. Like, so basically, split apart means like a little bit, not that big. Like Serbians, they just join the war, I guess, so they don't get that much land. So the Serbians, okay, they do get some land. They should get a lot. They not fight. So the Serbians get this much land, and and the Russians get all of the rest. So basically, this is it because Russia starts mobilizing its troops, and next we have another world, like another conflict that's going on. Yep, remember the Israeli thingy? Well, it turns out that none of the countries in this region are happy with this war going on. So we have Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Jordan, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the Egypt and Kuwait, Qatar. Yep, this is a lot of countries. The entire GCC, basically the UAE, Oman, Yemen, all of these countries joining their own sides to stop this. And America says that they won't get involved, and they actually do not get. No, wrong. Iran joins in the side of the blue team. Yeah, blue team, followed by Iraq in the blue team, Syria in the blue team, Lebanon in the blue team. And this is where it gets interesting because Kuwait actually does not support Israel, does not support Palestine, but it's more it hates Iran. So most of these countries are going to be a green team where they're not going to be focusing on anything. Like they're just here to like stop the war, but mostly focusing on Iran. Same thing with the UAE, Oman, and Qatar. Bahrain is in the ocean. So, and for Yemen though, actually the Yemen is where they launched an attack. I have the wrong color. This is the color. So basically, this war starts now. So we have the like the troops from the Iranians, Lebanese troops, and everything. They start pushing in and take northern Israel, where and the Jordan troops, the troops in Kuwait, Jordan, and others, they with the Saudi Arabians, the Jordans, the Kuwaits, the Egyptians, and so others pushed from southern Israel. We have the United Arab Emirates making a landing here, and the Qatar making a landing here. We have Oman pushing in to take Yemen, And we have Saudi Arabia pushing in to take Yemen as well. Sorry, this is the wrong color. This is the wrong thing. Yeah, this is was wrong. And so they are basically trying to take out Yemen. And the Saudis push into Yemen East territory, and it eventually forces Yemen to capitulate because it's a very unstable country. We have UAE making several other landings and successfully cutting off most of the Iran, but most of the Iranian troops were here, and now it's sending like a few of the troops here to not avoid an invasion. We have Jordan. Like as I said, they support Palestine more. I would say, nope, that's too big. Yeah, so they move a little bit into Israel and in a little bit into Palestine. Yep, a little bit in Palestine. Okay, no, actually, I'm not gonna make them. Okay, no, that makes sense. So we have the Jordan and the Saudi troops pushing into Iraq and Iran and Syria. Okay, sorry. And we have them pushing into the Israeli territory, and they end up capturing Lebanon. This leads to Turkey deciding to join the war. So Turkey decides that they want to join the war, but not on the team that you would expect. Because they decide that they want to join the war and they join the war on the next, yeah, a completely different scenario where the Turks join in like this is basically like a four-front war. One is the red, the Israelis, they're going to die soon. Then the blues, Iran, Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon and Palestine. And then the greens. The greens are all these like strong countries, and now there's Turkey joining in, and the purple. That's basically hilarious. But there's going to be a huge asset for nobody, I guess. But it's going to be a distraction for the blue team. So we now have the Turkish troops, since they're like just go like the troops are mobilized near the Iran area. They start pushing rapidly because none of these troops were aware of Turkey. So, and we have the Saudis from the south deciding that they want to take more land as possible. So the all these troops just push. The United Arab Emirates and Oman cut off most of Iran territories. There's not much army here, and we have finally have the capitulation of Israel, but not of Palestine. Palestine decides to just stay, and nobody decides to attack them. We have the Green Team pushing into most of Iraq and Iran. And now we have a counter attack by Iran because now the troops are mobilized. They start pushing into most of Turkey and they start pushing back the Saudis a lot. And they push, like, they successfully take out most of the UAE's accomplishments. And they try to take them out of the continent, but they're unsuccessful. They make a small landing near Fujairah, not Fujairah, yeah. And they're eventually just ending up kicked out because the UAE just sends its entire military here to like stop this campaign of Iran trying to stop them. Now we have the Turkish troops deciding to push back a lot as they push into wrong color. Sorry for that. As the Turks push into Iranian territory, and here they make another landing here. Yeah, that's pretty strange, but they do so. And we have the Saudi troops start pushing, but they do not yet declare war on Turkey. They don't declare war on Turkey. They're just in the war, all these green troops. And this eventually leads to a few of them surrendering. I don't know. Okay, no, they're not going to surrender because I don't know which team to put them on there. So we have the the Saudis, like the green team. Okay, the green team trying to make as much progress as they can before Turks eventually just decide to completely just they take out Iraq, northern Iran, and successfully take Tehran, and they cut off the most of the Iranians. The Iranians are now losing because they are fighting a two-front war, and now this eventually leads to Iran just being bombarded by the Turkish troops, because Turkey, as I didn't know it, but Turkey is actually the ninth strongest country in the world. It turns out that I had checked an outdated list in my previous video, and this leads to Palestine. Just nobody cares about Palestine, so that's it. That's it. So now I'm gonna just draw the peace treaty. It'll just be real quick. Turkey, why? Yes. And nope, 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 nope. Sorry about that. Misconception. Okay, that's good. And that, and so now I'm just gonna draw the borders and see. So basically, let's start with Yemen. So since Yemen were demolished so easily, and they didn't have their allies though, but still, Saudis are not gonna show any affection, and they just decide to annex, not annex, just share the area with the Omani. They just decide that they're gonna share the region. No, what is this? Sorry about that. They're just gonna share the region with Oman, and it goes. Oh, sorry. Yep, this is it. They share the region with Oman finally, and now we have UAE. Okay, let's see the UAE and Qatar. So we have Qatar. I don't know. So Qatar getting this much land, and the United Arab Emirates getting this much land now, bordering Pakistan. Something I never thought I'll say one day, but UAE is bordering Pakistan. That's strange and very weird to say. And now we have Palestine. Palestine. So Palestine's gonna get all of this land, and they're gonna annex Lebanon. Oh, I forgot to pick Egypt. What do we do to Egypt? You know what? Let's do it. Egypt is gonna get some Saudi land because like there's nothing Egypt can do. Like Egypt is just gonna get this much land. It's not. It looks like a not a lot, but Egypt all they did was help take Israel, and Israel was pretty easy to begin with. So Egypt is just nothing right now. And this is Palestine, by the way. Okay, this is just Palestine. Definitely not Israel. Definitely not Israel. And now we have Jordan getting not a lot, of course. They just get a little bit of here, and we have the getting Saudis, the Saudis, the Turks, and the Kuwaitis. Kuwaitis, is that what you call Kuwait? Kuwaitis. They're going to be splitting this area. Kuwait just gets a little bit of land. Saudi gets all of this. And we have Iran. Iran is an interesting thing because Iran is going to be split by Turkey, and they're going to be split by Russia. This what is it? Saudi Arabia. So basically, this is probably one of the weirdest borders ever that I'm ever going to draw. But yeah, I'm gonna cause some troubles. That's the border. It looks disgusting, and it is going to be very disgusting forever. Unless there's another war. Unless there's another war. And now we have Turkey taking Syria, northern Syria, all of Syria now. Yeah. So basically, this is it that happened in the. So basically, this is it that happened in the Middle East. Turkey gets a lot of land because they just joined in the wrong front. Jordan gets somewhat. Palestine is back, like in a huge front. The Egyptians get some Saudi land, but the Saudis get a lot of land. I'm not going to say, and they get Yemen. Oman becomes very long. The UAE gets a lot of land here. So does Qatar, and that's it. That's happening here. I think we'll have another time to. We have more time to do some more. So now, since this is happening, something interesting is some of the Iranian troops, like from this war, since they thought that Pakistan is their friend, like so they send most of the Pakistan, like they sent most of it to Karachi, and most of the the citizens to Karachi, and the Iranians started protesting there at Karachi, even though the Iranians forced them to go to Karachi. And so something like that happened, and eventually the Iranians end up killing many Pakistani people, governors, and even I don't know the prime minister's relative. I don't know. Okay, something happens, and Pakistan thinks that it's India. Straight up, it thinks it's India who did this. And so Pakistan declares war on India. And since it's actually not India's fault, Pakistan are the aggressors and India is the defending. So, since India is defending, you can see where this is going. Since Pakistan seems to be the aggressor, we have Bangladesh joining in on the blue team, Nepal joining in India's side. So with Bhutan won't do anything though. Myanmar, Myanmar and Thailand. That's it. These countries are not going to join. And China is not actually willingly going to join the war, but they're going to send a lot of supplies to Pakistan. So you can see they're in the war. And we have Afghanistan joining in on Pakistan's side, even though that's abuse. So the blue team is Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, and Sri Lanka is just going to be neutral. I don't know. I'm not going to do anything about them. Leave this part. Okay. Nope, no, no, not that. I would say this is a pretty even match, but since Bangladesh, Myanmar have to join because they're allies of India, it's going to be an Indian win. Maybe there's a huge chance for Pakistan to win, but there's a big chance for Pakistan to win. So immediately the Indian troops over here they start. Okay, not Indian. Yeah, Indian troops over here in this area start pushing into a little bit. Like this is so little into Pakistan, and we have them also pushing a little bit into the Kashmiri region, and they are trying to encircle most of the Pakistani troops because most of the Pakistani troops are in just this region. This region. That's it. That's basically most of it. And but we have the Pakistani troops. They do a huge counteroffensive going for Delhi, which is over here, I think. We have the Pakistani troops pushing into mainland India and even into Rajasthan. But the Indians are not so quick to fall as the reinforcements from Myanmar, Thailand, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan doesn't count, it's bad, starts pushing the Pakistani troops out and back of India. Because of this, China sees this as aggression and they decide to send most of their, all their things here to Pakistan, like military, army, jets, and everything. And because of this, Russia decides to send all of it to India now because Russia is a huge ally of India, and even Japan supporting India on this thing. So it's South Korea, North Korea, and God knows. The United Arab Emirates decides to be neutral and blocks all entryways because they're huge allies of Pakistan and India. And we have the Indians pushing in from north, from the north, but we have the Pakistani troops pushing in because of the Chinese reinforcements into most of Kashmir, and they're doing pretty well. They push back, and due to all these Chinese troops and everything, it looks like Pakistan is going to win the war. But because of this, Saudi Arabia decides to join the not join the war. Oh, actually, they did join the war, but this time they joined the war on the green team again. I'm just kidding. I don't want to. I'm just kidding. If Saudi Arabia joins the war on the green team, that's going to be it for India, I would say. It's not going to be it for India. It's going to not be it for anyone, actually. Okay, so now we have the Indian troops going to go for Islamabad, and now south we have the area Indian troops going for Karachi, eventually landing in the westernmost point of Pakistan. No, this is the westernmost point. The west area. We have the Afghan troops sending more and more reinforcements. But basically, they can't do anything. It's just their area that is untouchable. We have the Indians pushing back a lot into their Kashmiri region, and they go pretty far until there is like the capture of Karachi, and the encirclement of some Pakistani troops here, until which Pakistan realizes that they could lose, but they decide to take as much Indian troops down as possible. So what was that? So the Pakistani troops go on a full-on assault of Kashmiri region with the help of Chinese troops, and they even encircle many Indian troops, and then the Indians bring on some of their reserves to just beat Pakistan, and they circle more and more Pakistani troops, and they push back the Pakistani troops all the way back just because they have a higher population and better army. They start launching missiles in most of the Pakistani like areas. That's an Indian city in Karachi and many other cities that I don't know. There's a Hyderabad area here. And because of that, Pakistan also decided to launch missiles in Kolkata in areas like they decide to launch missiles in Kolkata. They launch it in Mumbai. No, 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 not Mumbai. That's too big. Gwalior, I think maybe Gwalior, Ahmedabad, and they even launched missile at Mysore, Kozhikode, Coimbatore, and they even launched one huge missile at Orissa, which is a big missile, and it caused some radiation. Because of this, now there are sanctions put on Pakistan because they launched a semi-nuclear warhead. So like now at this point, the war is like it's like 2060 right now. So it's like the world is more technologically advanced, and because of this, we have basically the entire world. I would say like the USA is sending troops to India. Canada is sending. UK, France, Germany, all of the Europeans are sending troops. Even Russia, Belarus, Saudi, even now, even UAE decides to join the war along with Qatar in the hands of the blue team or India. Not that, sorry. No. And they decide to join the war on the blue team. And this is a huge disadvantage for Pakistan because now they have to fight two fronts, and we have even all of the countries putting sanctions on Pakistan because they just bombed like a nuclear semi-head, a semi-nuclear head, semi-nuclear something. They send it, and now we have the UAE troops, UAE and Qatari troops, and a little bit of Saudi troops because they send them going into Afghanistan because the Afghanistan region is very hot, and it's UAE we're talking about, UAE and Qatar, so they know most of this area pretty well. So because of this, we have the Indians just going full on assault to go for Karachi and Islamabad, and Islamabad is soon captured by the Indians. The Indians also go from the south until eventually Pakistan has to surrender, but they would never surrender to India. We even have the Indians pushing in from the north of into the north of Afghanistan. They're doing pretty good into Afghanistan. They encircle most of the Afghani troops. And into Pakistan, this is like the last Pakistani troops are in this area. Until eventually Pakistan unwillingly surrenders, to not lose their people. And Afghanistan is just being, is like, it's gone for them, so they just decide enough and they decide to surrender. That's a pretty smart deal by Iran, Afghanistan. Oh, I forgot about all these countries. They're not gonna get anything. They're just gonna get like all the war replies are gonna come from Pakistan anyway. So that's basically it. They are not gonna get any land though, unfortunately. And now we have the peace treaty. The peace treaty is going to be as so. India is going to get quite some land. They are going to get. Oh no no no, that's too big. They are going to get this much land. That's, I mean, they are getting Kashmir and much more land than that. And for Afghanistan, Indians are getting this much more land because, well, Afghanistan, they are not going to lose much land. So this is India. You know what? Yeah, this is India. And down here south, we have the Indians getting this much land and this much. No, no, that's enough. This is enough. Or is it? This is too much. Indians are going to get this much land only. No, that's too less now. This much. Yep, this is pretty much good. And that's it. And now India is looking pretty good. Now we have the United Arab Emirates getting a lot of land. a lot, I would say. Okay, they do get quite some land because their help is what helped India win. So they're going to get a lot of Afghanistan and they're going to get a lot of Pakistan. And now Pakistan looks, it looks like Afghanistan before, like the shape like this. Wait, I'm gonna give you a like this looks very bad. No, 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 no. Yeah. This is what it looks like now. Now, don't blame me or anything, but Nepal decides they are going to join India because by now Nepal's economy, population, everything would be crumbling. So does Bhutan. And now we have something that's really going to help all these countries. We have Vietnam joining with just a minute. We have Vietnam, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, and Cambodia, and Malaysia. Okay, you know what? Yeah, Malaysia as well. All of them are going to join in to create one single union, the Southeast Asian Union. Yep, that's the name of the union. It's called the Southeast Asian Union, and it's a pretty good big union. I would say right now, if they were to be compared, they're probably like the 15th biggest country in the world, probably like 20th populated right now. And as terms by military, it will be like 10th. So in military right now, number one, I know you would say it's like USA, but by now Russia is like extremely strong. So I would say it's like a neck and neck tie, but I would say Russia is a little more better with more land. And number two, the USA or Russia. I'm not gonna say who's better. Number three right now is going to be the India because now they have gonna help them, but Pakistan. Number four is China. Number five is Turkey. Number six is Saudi Arabia. Number seven would be UK. UK maybe. And number eight would be I don't know, but the UAE is pretty high up there right now. 15, 20 maybe. Pakistan's out of 50 right now. Okay, now we have one more thing. Like a few more things maybe. I like doing some long videos. If you do not like long videos, just tell me in the comments and I'll make shorter videos like 20 minutes only. But it's fun, relaxing for me, so I just like doing it. So we have okay, by now NATO is disbanded, okay, or else if NATO is there, we can't have an alternate future of the world because then it'll be like bad. So now we have the United Kingdom declaring war on many, many, many countries. We have the United Kingdom declaring war on Ireland to get Great Britain, I guess. Netherlands, Belgium, yep, all of them together because they want to create the British Union, I guess. And we also have them declaring war on Iceland and Denmark and Norway. And I think this is a stupid thing of a stupid decision of Great Britain, but Great Britain's great, I guess. I mean, they think they're great, but yeah, they are great. No, not why the red? Why did no, no? Sorry. Okay, we have Norway, Denmark, Iceland. So now, since it's pretty sure we know like who's going to win, pretty easy because it's was I'm not gonna say though. We have the United Kingdom pushing in and taking Northern Ireland. We have them also pushing it quickly to take most of Ireland. We have them going into Denmark and making a landing, even in Netherlands and into Belgium. And we have them pushing into most of Belgium and Netherlands. We even have them making a landing in Norway, in this area of Norway, and into the eastern part of Iceland. Now we have them quickly taking over Denmark and making landing in Norway. Even we have these two Benelux countries falling. We have Ireland capitulating, even though they try their best against England. We have England pushing in into southern Iceland. I keep forgetting it, and eventually Iceland surrender. We have them pushing into northern Norway, and eventually we have this area of Norway being taken, and Norway doesn't surrender, but the US, UK declare peace, and that's going to be it. No, I'll just make the peace treaty. Nope, nope, nope. They don't surrender. They don't surrender. The UK says that I'm done. I'm not going to be fighting anymore. The UK just says that. And that's it. So, you know what's going to happen anyway. UK is going to dash them all. Fill in the blanks. They're going to annex them all. So, we have the UK. They are going to be taking over Ireland, of course. All of Ireland. We have them taking over the Benelux region. Duh. Duh. And they have taken, you know what, they decide they're just going to annex Norway, but Norway is not agreed with that, so they could have rebels. So the UK sees this. Now they're smarter than they were in world before the British colonization. And this time it's not going to be anything like the British are going to be so tough, racist, and everything. It's just going to be the British are going to be very good with their colonies and everything. They're not going to use slaves or anything. So this is it. The British Empire has Iceland right now, the England, Great Britain, Ireland, the Benelux region, Denmark, and southern Norway, I guess. So basically, that's. I'll just I'll do one more scenario, I guess. North Korea, South Korea. This is gonna be an exciting one because it's not in South Korea, but for this scenario, just for the sake of it, I think only countries are gonna be getting involved is Russia's not gonna be getting involved, and USA doesn't want a world war anytime soon. So it's just gonna be these countries. So it starts off by the aggressors being North Korea declaring war on South Korea. The South Koreans retaliate and join the war. They have to join the war. We have Japan joining in because they want to support, of course. And because of Japan joining in, oh no no, they have China. Now this seems huge. And since China joined, we have India joining. Yeah, India. And Pakistan doesn't want to join. In reality, maybe Pakistan would join if they didn't lose the war recently, but they just lost the war, so they don't want to go into another war. So they just decide to do this, and we have the Southeast Asian Union, the new union, joining in. Bangladesh decides to go to do something really strange as Bangladesh goes into isolation. Yeah. Bangladesh decides to go into isolation. Hopefully, they won't become the next Japan, but they actually will just go to isolation to go for infrastructure and those kind of stuff. And now we will start the war. This is going to be the last scenario because now it's taking a lot of time. We have the South Koreans pushing in to north, and we have them pushing in a little bit. Now, right now, South Korea is the fifth strongest country, I'm pretty sure. It's like in the top 10, and it's definitely not low. And since this tiny country is much better than Brazil, I would say, they are better than Brazil. This country, better than Brazil. This small country, is better than France. That's amazing. But China is much strong. So China, like we have North Korea falling quickly. We have the Japanese making a landing here, and they try their best. They just push all their army. They just want to be connected to the South Koreans, and that's good enough for them. They just do that easily. And now we have the Chinese doing Chinese things. We have them landing in the Korean region, and we have them pushing back into Korea and pushing back the Japanese troops. Whereas down here, though, yep, the Southeast Asian Union is doing great. We have the Indians pushing in and taking all of this region, along with the Southeast Asian Union pushing into and a lot. We have the all these troops sending all their military here to try and do a one launch operation here, and it pretty much works along with the Japanese, Korean, blah blah blah, all these things. All of them they just launch an operation into here, and they do another landing near Pyongyang, and eventually China, as I said, they're number 4 now. India is number 3, and these guys are number 10, 12, like that. So because of that, we have China doing pretty bad. We have the Indians pushing in from here, and we have them successfully doing a lot. And now, since you know that Tibet is having a lot of, like, they want independence propaganda, we have a lot of Tibet rebels. And since China was a really good leader, we have rebels in the Xing, Shanghong region. And because of these rebels, China is quick to take some of the rebels down in the Shanghong region. But the other rebels team up with India and Southeast Asian Union, and they are successfully doing a lot a lot of work. Because of this, China withdraws most of its troops. They just station the troops here. And most of the troops are going to just put a border here. And of course, they're using the Great Wall of China, something like this, for their use, I guess. Then militarizing that area. And now we have the quick succession of North Korea, and we have the falling of Manchuria. We have Manchuria being surrounded until eventually China decides to surrender. Yeah, China surrendering. That's it. And this is talking news for the world as start talking about Japan, South Korea, Southeast Asian Union, and India together. It's not big deal actually, but still, it's something, I guess. So I'm just going to make the peace treaty, and that's going to be it for this video. Then I'll be uploading probably, I don't know, twice in a day, maybe, if I'll be lucky. That is, no, twice, once in 2 days, like that. So looking at the peace treaty, this is going to be interesting. So what the Indians decided to do is form a treaty with the Tibet region that they are going to be part of India for some time, but after they be part of India for some time, if they do not like being in India, if they do not like being part of India or anything, if they do not like about being like that, then they are going to just gain independence like that. So now we have India getting most of the Xinjiang region and this part of Tibet. Not actually that. I'm gonna get this much. Yeah, this is the correct size. And now we have the Southeast Asian Union getting a lot of land because Southeast Asian Union is getting now really strong. Southeast Asian Union is basically as strong as the United Kingdom present. Like not in this scenario, like in the current life. And the Southeast Asian Union gets a lot of Chinese land. And then we have the Koreans becoming one. We have the Japanese getting Manchuria. Yeah, this is a real bad for China to decide to join because this is Japanese, this is Korean, and this is all Indian, and this is all Southeast Asian. So now China is just this small, and all the people are in like this region right now. It's like Beijing, Shanghai, even Hong Kong and Macau is gone to the Southeast Asian. So China is now like much lower. Right now, the number one is still Russia, USA. Number three is India. Number four has to be Southeast Asian Union now. Southeast Asian. Fifth is Saudi. Sixth is Turkey. Seventh has to be Japan. Eighth would be the Empire of United Kingdom. Ninth would be Korea. Tenth Germany, I would say. 11th maybe, forgot the name. Belarus. 11th would be France, 12th Italy, 13th Spain, like that. And then 14th would be probably something like Brazil, 15th Argentina. So that's going to be it for this video. My main inspiration for this video is by ADIZZPRO videos. So he's the actual like main of this, but it's my idea. I changed every outcome. So if you want to have lower videos, like shorter videos, like 20 minutes long videos, just write it down in the comment section. Just let me know if there's anything wrong with this. If you think there's something wrong, just tell me maybe. And if you want more episodes like this, just tell me how often should I make episodes like this, the alternate future of the world. Oh, and I forgot to tell. Wow, India now borders Russia. So that's good news, I guess. Not that good news. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video. Hope you all had a good time. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you.